My life. How can I?
Well,
what?
We will be right back.
What?
We have more topics, so don't go away.
And I think we should stop this.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. We are giving you guys a review around Sharon, Osbourne, Piers, Morgan and Candace Owens. We're going to be just kind of breaking some stuff down that's happened in the last few days. I mean, I've been sickened, I've been disgusted, I've been annoyed at some of the stuff that's been put out there, especially not just about Meghan Markle, but the implications of them speaking about Meghan Markle speaks to every black person. And one of the things I've really found frustrating watching some people's reviews, especially from black people, especially for some black people, some of you are the same people, if we had been on a plantation field, will be snitching when people are breaking free from the plantation field, and then using Jesus probably to tell us that we shouldn't break free from masters. I'm going to be real with you. Some of you would not allow us to break free from slave masters. That's the way that you interpret information with Meghan Markle. And I'm coming guns blazing right now because I'm just vexed. I'm tired, I'm annoyed, I'm hot, I'm bothered. Okay, yeah, because some of the information that I see, people are not using their brain. Especially ignorant comments about what UK suffers with. I had from Candace Owens talking about how she, that Meghan Markle came into a traditional family, and because she came into a traditional family, she's trying to mess it up. Listen, what has skin tone got to do with traditional family? That is like saying that woman that said on TV that said, "Oh, is it casual racism?" What the frick is casual racism, blood? What is casual racism? Talk to me. What's casual racism? Like, I'm vexed because I look at this stuff and I think to myself that some of these people, they don't think before they speak. Rather, they do. In fact, they do speak before they speak, and that makes them malicious and makes them dangerous. This is why Piers Morgan had to come off. Some of you don't know the history of Piers Morgan. I've done videos on it. That guy is, number one, a stalker. He's obsessive. Okay, he should be. Listen, I'm gonna be pretty frank. The kind of stuff he'd be doing, he should be in prison. Because when you take to task on you have newspaper article after article after article talking about how trash Meghan Markle is simply because the girl rejected you. That's a level of madness. That's a level of madness. You can't be on the streets. If that's what we'll do, if that's what you're not saying is okay behavior, and the fact is, some of you don't know the history. Some of you haven't seen how it's not just Meghan Markle, it is what she represents. Whether she's 20% black, 5% black, whether she's a 95% black, I don't care, because the implications are, if they would do that to her, they would only do more to me. If they do that to her, they'd only do that more to me. I get sick and I get tired and I get annoyed of hearing this word, oh, she's a narcissist. She came in there to wreck the whole family. Do you know the history of Harry? No. Do you know the history of Harry? Because if you did, you wouldn't be opening your mouth the way you are. That's uncultured, uneducated, and you're making mad assumptions, blood. Harry, from young, has always had a rebellious spirit. He's been looking for a way out. She became a conduit for him getting out of that place. It's that simple. If you know his mum had the same issue. She had I wouldn't even say rebellious. She had a different way of looking at life, a very authentic way of looking at life, a very a heartwarming, heartfelt type of energy that came into it. And because of jealousy from certain members, because certain members can't keep things in pants, because certain members want to take people out the game, you understand? They took this woman out the game. I'm not saying who, but they are they. And so now, Paul, I love Diana, so that's why I get stressed. I liked her energy, bruv. You understand? Yeah? And to see that her son grew up in the same kind of fashion, in the same kind of way, that didn't want to be trapped in the system, that was looking for a way out. This boy, Harry, some of you think that this Meghan Markle's one that's controlling him. Do you know how mad he's been before? Is this not the same boy that was wearing a Nazi costume? Was this not the same boy that was wearing a Nazi costume? Do you think this is the guy that you can control? Do you think this is the guy you can listen? Come off that talk. I'm gonna preside some videos. We're gonna analyze some videos and get into it. You know, so if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of uploads. For those of you who are returnees, well, you already know what it is. You got the minerals. Let me play it. Look, one thing that's even stressing me out okay, is the fact that this narrative, okay, of Meghan Markle being somebody who's come to disrupt the traditions of the family. Let me get a clip for you guys, because you know how I do, bruv. You know, let me get a clip for you. I think I've got it here.
A report says that Meghan Markle.
So I want to play this clip here with Candace Owens, but I don't want to get copywritten, so we're gonna have to play it slowly, because otherwise I'll get copywritten, and I don't need that in my life, okay? But she makes a statement about how she feels Meghan Markle's a leftist narcissist, and I was like, wait, what? Leftist narcissist? Like, Candace, I know you ain't talking about race issue. I know you're not talking about race issue. Was it not you in college where white people were doing certain things to you? Like, people have got short memory for themselves, right? They've got short memories. The way that some people are playing a game. Like, I don't like Candace Owens. I don't like her caricature. I don't like that part of her. You know what I'm saying? Because her caricature is to pander and dance for the massa. And I'm not even just talking about white people. I'm talking about the establishment. To dance for massa and pretend as if race don't exist, as if things are not racially motivated, like as if that everything is becoming an agenda. Let me tell you something, sis. You know your history. But don't talk about UK history, because I don't think you know about that, bruv. Yeah? You don't know what's going on over these shores. We suffer racism over here too, systematic. And if we were to listen to people like you, we would then have to question ourselves, actually, no, they're not being systematically racist. No, it's just us. It's just us. We're imagining it. We're imagining it. You can't gaslight people who are educated, understand how the system works. Talk about your Americas, just don't talk about UK. You don't know nothing about that. You don't know nothing about the royal family. Don't talk about what you don't know. It frustrates me when people do that. They don't know about it and they're talking the loudest as if they got a real point, and you haven't. But let me play the clip. Okay. Right, let me play the clip. So let me just hear.
Not mine, I respect it. Here's the question. Government regulators, HR 1 would have what?
Rights, and I hope that this story shows Americans why it is so important to have First Amendment rights. Piers Morgan was all of us when he was dressing down Meghan Markle. And
Who's all of us? No. Don't get me vexed. You see, I've had to watch it a few times and I'm still angry. Like, I get angry again. Who's all of us? Who's all of us? You alongside the white people that believe that racism doesn't exist, right? Those who are, I see in Twitter comment section saying that Meghan Markle is this and that, right? Those who are happy to ignore when a comedian was made a picture of a monkey holding a man's hand and saying and linking that to Archie coming out the womb. Please. If you don't know about the history, don't know about what Wagwan and UK dems, and you're not sure about what you are, blood, stick to what you are, which is that you don't believe black people when it comes to racism. That's when she spoke about George Floyd. And listen, I don't care if you are a criminal. At the end of the day, you are black, and the way they dealt with him, it's not how they dealt with white criminals all the time. So when we were looking at it, we were frustrated. So then Candace comes out, coming out to pander and to dance like the monkey and with the massa again. And I was just like, blood, I'm getting frustrated. Like, the point of the matter was, there was a police. I don't want to even go to Joy Floyd because we're talking about Meghan Markle, but she made it as if like, the white officer that was laying on his knee, it wasn't an issue. Like, it's like, oh, it happens every day, B. And I'm like looking at it like, this is what we're talking about, Candace. You don't understand when it comes to race. You are great at politics. Play politics. Please don't pretend to ignore the plight of black people and what we're going through. It is ignorant. And also as well, just remember, you're black. You will never be white. I want to make that very, very clear. Some of you think that because your money takes you out of, you are still black. You are still black. Stay hydrated. You are still black. And no amount of dancing, no amount of pandering, no amount of you being political, no amount of supporting Trump is going to take you out of that. You are black in the eyes of them. Listen, nothing's going to change for you trying to pander to them. I don't mind you telling the truth, but if it's not truth, please, I beg. You know what I'm saying? I beg. Like, I don't like them things, yeah? Let's go on.
Calling her out on the blatant lies that she's told. She can't even keep her story straight, by the way. If anybody remembers, about 3 years ago, she said in a panel that she does not read newspapers, that she does not check social media because...
Okay, so now, let me be very frank with you, yeah? Listen, I kind of knew that. I obviously already knew that Meghan Markle was saying that she doesn't look at newspapers. It's the same thing that footballers say, right? Footballers say this all the time. We don't read newspapers, but they do, because that's how they get frustrated when they see a news article. We know they watch it. Jesus said, I'm not going to the party, and ended up going to the party. He weren't lying. He just changed his mind. Listen, at the end of the day, listen, that was 3 years ago. Do you know what I'm saying? That was 3 years ago. And so, listen, all I'm saying is to you that, like, she chose something which again was really innocuous, because that was not the debate we were talking about. That's when I knew her argument was weak. She went to something like this, you know. She couldn't even talk about the one thing that even Piers Morgan's picked up on, which was Archie being given the title of Prince. Which I'm going to bring you an article and we're going to read it together and we're going to address that as well, right? Because there's some technicalities in there, right? But let's read it, watch a little bit more.
She doesn't like to read stories about her. Well, apparently that's not true, because she's now telling everybody that she was suicidal because of bad press, it's because of racism, even though she's not even, you know, you look at her, you would not be able to discern just.
And that is the problem. You see, Candace doesn't understand. Baby girl, what you don't understand is US is not UK, baby. Okay? See, listen, in the UK, I want to tell you straight, you're not white, you black. You know why? You black. You understand? So that's the now maybe the police might differentiate you in terms of what they call you. I see what, but the only thing is this: you are not white. You are black. In fact, Meghan Markle would have been the blackest person that royal family has seen in a couple years. You understand? In terms of entering the family, right? So for Meghan Markle, whether she's 20%, 5%, it doesn't even matter. The mere fact that she was black, 20%, if you want to call it that, right, has caused issues. There have been newspaper articles that have treated her considerably differently to Kate. This is what we talk about, systematic racism, when you can use the power structures that be to decimate somebody else. She was doing the exact same thing Kate was doing, and yet they were killing Meghan Markle in the newspaper. But you don't know about that, Candace. Huh? You don't know about that. You don't know. Do you know who's also part of that? Your Piers boy. Your Piers boy. Yeah? Your boy that you're backing up right now, your Piers boy was part of that nonsense. Right? Simple thing as avocado she's eating. Suddenly, Kate was eating avocado. Great press for her. Yet when Meghan Markle does it, they're cussing her. The simple thing of her holding the belly of her button. They put a newspaper article out. She can't stop leaving her belly button. She's too prideful, this, that. When Kate's doing it, oh, what a lovely woman to put a hand on her baby bum. Listen, there are so many different instances. There's so many articles. Go online. You can see it there. In fact, I've done a video on it. Sorry. I've done the work for you. Yeah, Candace Owens, Piers Morgan, Sharon, Osbourne. I have done the work for you, so you don't have to, okay? We have documented it to show you the nonsense that we're talking about, okay? Yeah? Just go on my YouTube, type it in now. I'll put it at a little link below. All right, let's watch a little bit more and to what she said.
By looking at Meghan Markle, that she's black. And so what they're basically saying is that you're not allowed to critique Meghan Markle. And for her to put in this phone call.
Now, did anybody say we can't critique Meghan Markle? Now, I'm very much aware of manipulation, how it works, and how you can put a story so that people can't question you. But guess what? Nobody was questioning. Listen, let's keep it 100% true. Piers Morgan said, I wouldn't believe anything that comes out of this girl's mouth. Anything. That's the racism. That is the mental health. So you see, it goes even beyond just being black. The mere fact the woman said she was suicidal. Look at how Candace is talking. Some of you people have no empathy. You don't have no love in your hearts. It's showing, right? The person that said they felt suicidal. She's not the only one that's gone through this. She's not the only one that's gone through this. Diana had the same kind of thoughts. My friend, please don't be ignorant. Don't be ignorant. It's not cute. It's not cute. It's not lovely. It's not nice. You understand? Because this is something that we've seen. Harry himself has had mental health problems. So how dare you, in your right mind, Piers and Candace, in your right of minds, in your brains, that is obviously clearly between the two ears of your head, how dare you think that because Meghan Markle, what, she's trying to spin everybody a story? Her husband too has suffered with mental health. Her husband too. This is not out of the ordinary. This is not out of the ordinary. Do you understand? This is, and I love there's a post that someone put up saying about how some people are obviously commenting and saying obviously they don't believe Meghan Markle in the suicidal events, and they said obviously some of you are typing this thinking that you're only typing against Meghan Markle, not realizing your friends and your family are looking at some of your tweets and thinking to yourself, I can never come to you about my mental health problems. Some of you will never have someone come to you about mental health problems because some of you the way you talk about it, hey, you're not a safe space to be in, man. Let's go on.
to have his voice silenced because she's unhappy with the press that's being sent about her, which, by the way, is felt across the globe. She's a typical leftist narcissist.
How? Okay, see, I despise when people use narcissists and never give the evidence. What's the evidence? Present the evidence. Where is the evidence of narcissism here? Present the mother freaking evidence of narcissism here. It's not enough to just say to someone, you're a narcissist. What are you talking about? Present to me, break it down. What are the microaggressions here? What are the little minute behaviors that you're seeing that you're saying narcissism? What has she displayed that shows you narcissism? Tell me. Tell me where you're seeing narcissism. Show me. Right? I see people throwing these things around, and I am yet to see it come to fruition of someone coming with actual evidence of her narcissistic behavior.
It really has less to do with the royals, and it has to do with a typical leftist progressive in Hollywood seeing something traditional and then saying, you know what, that thing has history.
Something traditional? Are you nuts, blood? No. Obviously, someone is obviously smoking the weed because the mind is going to become brewski. Fam, what is traditional, okay, about asking about skin tone of a baby? I just want to know. What's traditional about asking the skin tone of a baby? I don't care what kind of tradition you've got. It's racist. It's racism. It's not casual. It's not off the cuff. It's not little racism. It is racism. Okay? It's racism. It's point blank. There's nothing else to it. We're not going to add a little adjective before it to make it seem like it's a bit small. No. It's racism. The traditional aspect, and there's a whole other conversation around this as well, because, like I said, Harry was looking for a way out full time, and he was still looking to do the duties of, as I say, a prince. He was happy to still go around the Commonwealth and do what he needs to do, etc., etc. Still happy to do it, but he said, "Listen, for the sake of my family, there are certain things that need to be set into stone for me." A man has to move his family away from the family he's in because they've become like a cult. Let's keep it real. The family is a firm, and an industry is a cult in itself. And I say cult instead of the culture of it, is that you will die in this thing if you decide to go against the grain. That's cultish for me. That's very cultish for me. You go against the grain and you will die. That's cultish for me. It's gang-like behavior. Very gang-like behavior. Do you understand? We are quick to cuss other cultures when they do honor killings. But yet, when we're looking at the royal family, you know, I don't say it so loosely, you know what I'm saying? Like, but something happened to Diana that was a bit of a mad thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, it seemed like there was foul play, and Harry has made it clear that he felt there was some ominous forces working behind the scenes. So if that's the case, this is a cult-like behavior. That's why he said he was trapped. That's why he felt like he was stuck in this thing. Because the cult, when you're in a cult, you're indoctrinated. And it's like, it's only by the grace of God that you come out of cults, man, because the mindset is warped. It's warped. Let's continue on one more time.
History, I think, has tradition, and I'm going to call it racist, and I have the grounds to call it racist.
Look at that. Look at Kwasiasem. Look at the Kwasiasem. If something is traditional, and then I'm gonna have grounds to call it racist, because it's. Yo, brother. This review, I need to keep it short.
Because, as Meghan Markle is, I'm 25% black, and my son, by the way, if you've seen a picture.
Do you know how ignorant that is and how rude that is? Do you know how ignorant? I don't even have a word for Candace at the moment. Because she's 25% black, she can't claim racism now. Because she's 25% black, she can't claim racism now. What kind of stupidity is this? What kind of ignorance is this? This not cute. This ain't cute. Let me move on to my next clip. I'm tired of her. Let me move on to my next clip because I want to break Sharon Osbourne down. I'm sick and tired.
I will ask you.
Listen.
Offensive over her friend.
How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my?
And that's how they always start. How can I be racist when I got black friends? That is the most typical argument we hear for when white people want to say to you, I'm not racist. But the problem is this. You hold racist ideals, and then it plays out in the way that you talk to me. It plays out in the way you deal with me. It plays out in the way that you action towards me. It plays out in the way that you talk about my race to other people. The racism is, I'm not waiting for nigger to come out your mouth. I'm not waiting for nigger to come out of your mouth. I'm not waiting for you to say black, see you next Tuesday. I'm not waiting for you to say black, whatever in front of it. I'm not looking for that. No, because racism in UK especially is covert. It's under the currents. It flows underneath, okay? It's an underground kind of racism. It's not over the top like in America. It's not in your face type of racism. In UK, it's undercurrent, undertones. Go back to your country. Go back wherever you came from. And yeah, I'm born here. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm born here just like you're born here. Those are the undercurrents I'm talking about when it comes to racism. When we had Brexit, we saw the undercurrents of racism. Well, they're taking all our jobs, aren't they? No, they're taking the jobs that you don't want to do, the jobs that you can't do, and the jobs that you're not good at, and the jobs that you're lazy at. That's what the ones they're taking off. You understand? Yeah? They're taking the jobs that you can't do. Like, don't get it twisted. They're not taking your jobs. You invited us here. In UK especially, they invited, as I said, on the Windrush especially, right? Here's racism, how it works. Invite people from the Caribbean over to come and work, help support your system, and then a couple of decades later, okay, revoke their right to stay in the UK and send them back. After you've used them like dirty rag and then send them back. But the US people, some people in the US don't know that. You don't know that history, and you're out here talking some nonsense. You don't know that. You don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we're talking about, structural racism. You see, the structural racism is to do with power. It's to do with the structure of the society that we're living. And see, the structures are playing against us as a race. So yes, forgive me if I'm not waiting for you to say nigger to me. I'm not waiting for that. It's the little microaggressions like, oh, your name is difficult. You think you can change it, shorten it to just K. Are you alright? Are you alright? Are you alright? You're going to learn my name. You're not going to shorten my name. You're going to learn it. You understand? Those are the microaggressions of racism I'm talking about. That stuff there. It's not the nigger. Understand me very clearly. It's not the nigger. It's the little comments like that. Asking skin tone. Who asks what skin tone the baby's going to come out? Who asks that? White people don't ask other white people that. Oh, he's going to come out. Is he going to come out light? Is he? Is he going to come out whiter? You don't ask that. Yeah, you don't ask that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and black people ask other black people, I wonder what shade's going to come out. Our colorists. It's simple as that. I'm calling them out too. If black people started asking, I wonder what skin tone the baby's going to come out. Colorist, which is a sister of racism. Let's play some more of this clip, man. It's crazy.
Life. How can I?
Well, I
Well,
tell you,
what?
We'll be right
Well,
back.
what?
We have more topics, so don't go away.
And I think we should stop this.
Look at the energy Sharon Osbourne has for this black woman. Look at the energy she has on a professional set. Look at the energy. Are we calling her an aggressive white woman? Are we? Because right now she's an aggressive white woman for me. Swearing and blinding. She's an aggressive black white woman. But yet it wouldn't be put in the newspaper that. No. It'll be, oh, Sharon Osbourne gets bullied by black people, or Sharon Osbourne is maybe bullying them. Call it what it is. Let's call it an angry white woman. But they wouldn't do that because the narrative is not set for that. But had it been a black woman, angry black woman would have been coming out. Oh, black people are always angry. These are the stuff we're facing. And you're telling me Candace and them nonsense and Piers Morgan, that Kwasi Assembly are talking over there.
I will ask you again, Cheryl.
Yes.
I've been asking you during the break. Right. I am asking you again. And don't try and cry, because if anyone should be crying, it should be me.
Oh, okay, Karen. Okay, Karen. If anyone should be crying, it should be you. For what? What should you be crying about? What, because we G-checked you because you're friends with Piers Morgan, who is, we're saying is racist. If somebody is a sexual predator and we say we're going to be friends with them, yes, we say, oh, I'm backing him. How can we back the behavior, bro? We can't back the behavior. Do you know what I'm saying? We can't back the behavior. So when he's doing that, you don't stand behind him and say, hey, he's still my friend. Da, da, da. Don't say anything at all. Just shut it. Just shut it. Kwawunum-tum. You understand? Don't open your mouth. Sorry, don't open your mouth. Just keep quiet. But you couldn't. You have to come out and defend it because white people are used to entitlement. They're used to our voices being shut. They're used to us playing second fiddle. They're used to us being submissive. They're used to us not having a voice and being able to echo it. And so now when we do, have our voice to open it. The entitlement, the white supremacy that is seeped deep down for a lot of white people, they don't realize, deep down in them begins to come up. Do you know how I know that? Because the same thing that affects them with the same thing that affects white people is sex with racism and white supremacy is the same thing that affects men with misogyny. And listen, I've had conversations with female friends, and I've said, I didn't even realize I carried some misogyny. In the way that you talk about certain events and certain particular things that happen, especially when it concerns a woman, will actually highlight whether you're misogynist or not. Some of us are covert misogynists, and we don't realize. As men, we don't realize. Because we're not coming out and saying you black bee or all women should be in the kitchen. Just because we're not saying those mad things, we think that we're not misogynist. The way that you look at situations and scenarios will tell you some of you are carrying a heavy lot of misogyny. The same energy that is flowing through white supremacy is carried in misogyny. Same thing, and it's now covert. Let's listen to Sharon again. Let's listen to what the trash he's talking. Listen, it's trashing her.
This is the situation.
Yeah.
You tell me where you have heard him say, educate me. Tell me when you have heard him say. So
here's the thing, right? Look at the energy she's coming out with. Look at the energy she's coming out with. Like, we can explain it to you. We're gonna explain to you the microaggression, and we're gonna need you to keep your mouth shut and open your ears. What we don't need is that energy you're giving us right now. That's ridiculous. This woman here is about to explain that she's your friend and trying to help you understand, and you are coming at her 100 miles per hour. What? That's what I'm talking about, the entitlement. That's what I'm talking about, the white supremacy that seeps down below, that when we decide to actually speak up, they feel threatened. And when you're threatened, you have two choices. You have a cave in or you go out and attack.
Racist things. Educate me. Tell me.
It is not the exact words of racism. It's the implication and the reaction to it.
And so she's asking to be educated. Does this look like somebody who wants to be educated? Educate me then. Does that look like somebody who wants to be educated or just wants to be right? Someone sounds triggered. This black woman had to stay calm, blood, because she cannot afford to get riled up the way that Sharon does, because the media does not afford us this. She comes out and starts riling up, the media will get her. Yeah, the media will get her. In fact, they already did. Piers Morgan already said that Sharon was surrendering to bullies. What? Because we told her that her behavior is off point. We're now bullies. They didn't come out and cuss her. They just said, listen, your behavior is off point. That's it. Let's watch a bit more.
Do not want to address that because she is a black woman and to try to dismiss it or to make it seem less than what it is. That's what makes it racist. But right now. So
I love the explanation here, because in the UK, for those of you who don't know, like I said to you guys earlier on in this particular video, there were newspaper article after article after article after article, and there were comparisons between Meghan Markle and Kate. Okay, now even me at first, when they said, "Oh, the press are racist towards Meghan Markle," I said at first, I said, Diana got the same kind of treatment, like, allow it. But then when they started showing me the comparisons, the same thing that Kate is doing, the black woman's doing, and suddenly it becomes a problem, I couldn't say anything else. The evidence is very clear. You are showing a difference between Meghan Markle and Kate, one white woman and a black woman, whether she's 20% black or whatever you feel like, she's black in the eyes of the royals. So whether you feel like, it doesn't make a difference. It's what she's seen in the eyes of the royals. So now when they compare the two, and newspapers as well, when they compare the two in their behaviors, that let me know racism is really working and it's really alive. And the fact that Harry also pointed out to it, saying, listen, when I saw the newspaper article, I'm looking at it and I'm going, yeah, this is a racist, there's racism, as we talked about. Race is an issue. The Harry himself said it, but people want to ignore that, right? Because they themselves don't want to admit that they could be wrong. It doesn't suit their narrative.
I'm talking to a woman who I believe is my friend, and I don't want anybody here to watch this and say that we're attacking you for being racist. And
And besides, apparently Sharon didn't actually say that this woman is her friend back later on in the show anyway. So she's now said that she's a friend, and she's trying to bring news to her like a friend and try to explain it to her, and yet Sharon doesn't actually potentially doesn't consider her to be a friend either, because she said Piers is a friend but hasn't said this woman's a friend. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? So this woman, how black woman here has taken her time and come and conversate with you. Sharon doesn't think you're a friend. Do you know how mad that is? Do you know what I'm saying? And the way she came with the energy, that told me she's not a friend. The energy that she came with, that's not your friend. That's not your friend. When the black woman was trying to saying, listen, I don't want you to be looked like a racist, so I'm trying to educate you. And you come with that energy, that vibration. You're not a friend, bruv. You're not a friend.
And for that,
look at the contempt. Look at the contempt when she's trying to explain to her. Let's go back again. You don't want to believe what I'm saying. Look at the contempt. Listen again.
You for being racist, and for that, if I articulated,
I think it's too late. I think that seed's already sown.
But that.
Yeah, it's sown already, love. Yeah, you're right. It's sown already, because you defend people and it's problematic, bruv. Do you understand? And your attitude here shows that you're not really here to learn. You're here to defend, and that for me shows that you're not really open to the process. You're not open to learning. You're open to being right.
That is why I'm saying for me. I'm saying for me.
Look at the disbelief.
For me. I thought I was asking a question about the perception for other people.
Now, look how the black woman has to articulate herself very, very carefully. And she has to do that because she's black. That's something that you don't realize as white people. You don't realize that. And those of you who are black, you think that everything is race and you don't know how to thingy. This is the problem we face. You know, I think someone mentioned as code switch. We have to code switch. I call it putting on my white armor. I have to put on my white armor. I have to talk in a certain way and tone down my blackness. Okay, or if you want to call it blackness, I have to tone down certain aspects of myself because it might be considered ghetto. Here's another thing. Here's another aspect of microaggression of racism. We can't wear our hair in a certain way because it's considered unkept or it's considered unprofessional. Yeah, can't have an afro because that's that's unprofessional. Who told you your slick back hair is professional? Who told you your ponytail is professional? Do you understand? So there are certain things where I'm like, listen, they police us in ways that I'm telling you are microaggressions you may not realize, but they are. Yeah, coming over and you've seen a girl's hair and she's changed it from last week, and you have to touch her hair. Listen, why? Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't touch her hair. Don't do it. She doesn't need that. Yeah? Don't touch her hair without asking. That's what I'm saying. Okay?
That's why I prefaced it with, I've never heard you utter anything racist, but I have.
Do you see how you see this? Did you hear her? Listen. Hey, listen to this. Listen to this. Wonders will never cease in my life. Wonders will never cease in my life. Wonders will never cease in my life. Listen to what she just said. Now, the black woman, Cheryl, I think her name is Cheryl. Cheryl just said, look, I've already told you, I've not said that I've heard you say anything. And I preface it by saying, I haven't heard you say anything. And then Cheryl's like, oh, please. Sharon's like, oh, please. Sis, she's trying to save your bacon. And you're out here still trying to disrespect her.
Anything racist, but I have felt that Piers was racist in his stance against Meghan Markle. And the last time he was on this show, I said as much. I said it when he was on this show.
What was?
So, I don't even know what else to say, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Because you do get tired of trying to explain this whole situation to white people, especially people like Sharon, who are now look at the reaction I'm getting from you. Look at the reaction I'm getting from you. I'm even trying to defend your ass, and you're trying to come at my ass. I'm trying to defend you, and saying that someone else is racist, and not saying you are racist, and yet look at the energy you're bringing to me. Look at the energy you're bringing to me. You know why? Because birds of a flock, they flock together. Just because Piers is overtly saying certain things doesn't mean that Sharon isn't internalizing those things and agreeing. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Sorry. I'm gonna have to click off it because it's gonna copyright, and I don't need that issues in my life. All right, cool.
Against Meghan Markle, and the last time he was on this show, I said as much. I said it when he was on this show.
And what was his answer to you?
He didn't feel that. He didn't feel that it was racist. He didn't feel.
And so what do you want me to do? I'm trying to tell you, listen, what you're saying is racist. Like, and you're telling me, oh, well, I don't care. That's not why I said. And I'm like, yo, but brother, I'm trying to let you know this is a racist term, bro. I'm like, even with the whole conversation with Alex Beresford from GMTV, which I'll play in a second, when Piers went on to ask a question which didn't need to be asked. I call that racist. When you're saying, oh, if I ask what color the skin of the baby is going to be, you don't need to. You've never asked that question in your life. You only ask that because I'm black. You only ask that because I've got a bit of color in me. You would never ask that of a white person. You just wouldn't. You might ask their hair color, but that's not racist, is it? Right? Is he gonna have ginger hair or nothing? Why didn't nobody ask if the child asked you will come out with ginger hair? Why did they ask whether he would be a skin tone? Why did they not ask about his hair color, but they asked about his skin tone? That's letting you know where your motivation lies and where your thoughts lie. Let's play a little bit more.
Feel that the racial statements that he was making were racist, but I was talking to him.
Okay, answer me this one, okay? Because I don't know. I don't understand.
If you don't know, shut it and let us educate you. You understand? If you don't understand, stop having contemptible attitude. That's the whole point. If you don't know it, stop having contemptible attitude. Do you feel what I'm saying? Stop doing it. Do this behind the background scenes and have that conversation so that you don't look as bad. Don't come on the screen and do contemptible attitude when we're trying to educate you on certain behaviors. And then you said, I don't really know, so help me understand. Listen, stop with that energy. Stop. Because you're showing me your tail right now.
If he doesn't like someone, and I think this is for everybody who is born white, if Piers doesn't like someone and they happen to be black.
Now, here's the thing. Piers is both racial and misogynistic, okay? Because the main part of Pierce's problem is misogyny. I would say it's more misogyny than racism, okay? I think he's got undercurrents of racism, but he's more misogynist, okay? And the racism is that he makes certain comments, especially about the Meghan Markle situation, that are problematic. But I would say, first of all, the misogyny seems to be more his lane. And the misogyny here in this situation is that a woman rejected you and you churned out newspaper article after article after article saying things about her that were disparaging. That's what I'll call misogyny. Now, the racism part is the fact that obviously, in part, when you can see the racism on the newspaper, which one of them was yours, Daily Mail, who are part of this nonsense, right? And then you defend it and say there's nothing wrong with those newspaper articles. She's gotten the same treatment as someone else, and not realizing that we're calling out racism because she's being compared to Kate. This wasn't just her getting slewed. This is her being compared to another white woman. How hard can it be? She's not just being trashed in a newspaper. She's being trashed in comparison to a white woman. That is the racism. And when you defend it, that is when we call you a racist. That's it. It's not very hard.
Does that make him a racist?
No.
That's a no.
No.
Right. So why can't it be he just doesn't like her? Why does it have to be racist?
It's almost like,
I wish I wish I was there so I could explain it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's very hard for a lot of the Americans to explain it because, like I said, if they don't know Piers Morgan's history, you wouldn't understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. Do you know what I'm saying? His misogyny is very clear, but I would say his racism is far less overt. Far less. It's very covert. You know what I'm saying? And so let me play the rest of the clip anyway.
Sorry, Cheryl.
No, you go
It's
ahead.
almost like yesterday when you were talking, Mrs. O, it sounded like he was really upset about, what you were saying is a royalist. Like he is just so deep into
he is.
honoring the crown and
I get that he's honoring into honoring the crown, but he's not honoring the crown the way he's talking right now. We you know the history of Harry, so why are you not taking it into account? You know the history of Harry. You know what he's about. Why keep going on and on and on about his about the fact that Meghan's the one that's doing all the things to him, when really we know that that's not the truth. He's always been looking for a way out. But let me play this last clip as to why I said it was problematic about some of the things he was saying. I think he might be here.
Between somebody perhaps innocently saying to you, out of interest, if you have one parent is white, one parent is black, what colour could your baby be? Let me finish.
Look at the question. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, you don't ask them questions. I've never looked at a black and white person together and asked, I wonder what skin tone the child's going to come out. I've never asked that. I've never asked. I don't need to ask. Why am I concerned about that? I don't care. I really don't care. You understand? Because I don't consider race to be an issue. But when you are white, darker, and you're mixing with someone who's black, these come issues. Why? Because we know how we get treated. Of course it'll be an issue. Of course it'll be an issue. Of course it would be an issue. So of course you would ask that question. Let's play it a little bit more. Let's play it a little bit more.
What colour could your baby be? Is there a difference between that question phrased in that innocent, perhaps, way, and somebody doing it in a tone that says, well, how dark is your baby going to be?
Well, and again, listen, let me be very frank with you. Some people think, okay, that innocently, someone might say, oh, he was doing no harm. I don't give a flip. Because your harm is the way the harm is you asking the question in the first place. You don't need to ask that question. Like I said, we don't ask them questions. You understand? I don't ask how dark or light a child is going to be. I do not care. And if a black person did that, I said they would be colorist. I don't care what the child of color is going to be. It's not my concern. Now, I may ask, does he look like more like a dad or a mommy? But I don't care if he's darker. Like, honestly, I didn't look when Archie was coming out. I didn't think to myself, is he going to be dark? Is he going to be light? I don't care. I was just like, listen, that's the child that's going to come out. But when you're so focused on color and you don't realize you're focused on color, you have to give yourself room to ask these kind of questions. That's my point. That there's no need to ask this question. There was no reason to ask the question around color because it shouldn't be a problem. The reason why you're asking is because there's going to be a problem. You're not intrigued. You know there's a problem coming. That's why.
In a derogatory, perhaps racist
right,
tone.
exactly, and there is a difference. But what we're getting from the interview is that it was said in a negative way.
She said that. But
So now, yeah, he wants to take away the narrative of what Meghan Markle was saying about the fact that they were asked about her skin tone and what white people did, not just Piers Morgan, another woman on GMTV. And you know how the older folks, they might say some casual racism. You know, they're old and traditional. No, I don't know about that. What is that? What's traditional and what's casual in racism? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, they asked what the skin tone of the child's going to be because it was going to be an issue. You're not asking because you think you were intrigued. If they was, and remember, this wasn't said to Meghan. That's the maddest thing about this whole situation. None of this was said to Meghan. It was said to Harry. So if a fellow white person can pick up and understand that this is kind of racist, I think you need to know that it is racist. It wasn't said to Meghan. So you can say you disbelieve Meghan. It wasn't said to Meghan. It was said to Harry. Oh, how the white people have fallen. My God. It's your fellow brethren that you told. And he understood and told Meghan. I'm just saying. You know, the split between Harry and Prince William has been there for years now. It's nothing to do with Meghan. It's been coming because they've been going in two different directions. So, you know, I don't want to play any more clips, man. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm vexed. I'm angry. I don't want to see any more. Forgive me. This was a rant, but it is what it is, isn't it? I appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded, stay hydrated.